good-looking pan, and any barmaid can be a star maid.
Welcome to another episode of A-List Classics, where we talk about must-see movies that are considered to be the greatest films of all time. I am your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. And in this week, we are traveling back in our mint-flavored time machine to the year 1974, where we're going to talk about the Best Picture winner, many considered to be superior than the original, and one of the best sequels. That's right, we're going to discuss The Godfather Part II. In 1958, Michael Corleone is settling into his role as the Don of the Corleone crime family, holding a number of meetings behind closed doors dealing with politicians and partners. One night, Michael and his family survive an assassination attempt where he suspects his business partner, Hyman Roth, is responsible for. Michael and a number of partners, including Roth, head to Havana for more dealings while trying to legitimize the family, figure out who's responsible for his attempted murder, and eliminate anyone who wrongs the family by any means necessary. Meanwhile, back in the early 1900s, Vito Corleone has come to New York and begins his rise to becoming the Godfather. The Godfather Part II is an incredible crime drama sequel. It's once again directed by Francis Ford Coppola after being nominated for an Oscar for Best Director the first time around, although Coppola only wanted to produce and have Martin Scorsese direct. The studio met Coppola's demands, including more creative control, amongst other things, and he decided to direct the second film. The screenplay is once again written by Mario Puzo, based partially on his crime novel, The Godfather. The Godfather Part II had its premiere on December 14, 1974 in New York, and then wide release on December 20th, 1974. And while it didn't pass the original film commercially, it was still a success at the box office, as it was the seventh highest grossing picture of the year. The film initially received a mixed reception, with some critics and viewers believing it didn't live up to the classic original, and some thinking that this second film was better. Over time, many opinions have changed, and the film is now discussed as one of the best sequels of all time. It's interesting that the film doesn't just act as a sequel, but that as a prequel as well, and while it might seem like a lot of material, it definitely works. I like that the two stories parallel each other as both father and son rise into power in their respective times. In Michael's story, we see his continuing journey as the new head of the empire and what he's trying to do for the family business and even having to go to court. We also get a look at the relationships between Michael and his older brother Fredo and see what's going on with his wife Kay. There's definitely some great showdowns and arguments between the characters. I thought the flashbacks, including Vito, to be even more interesting as we see his childhood and escaping Sicily to wind up in New York and teaming up with his best friend and business partner Clemenza and plotting against the local Don Fanucci. Robert De Niro playing the young Vito is amazing, and I could easily believe that this being the same character Brando would play the older version of. Just like the first film, it can get certainly bloody and violent. It also packs in tons of powerful and tense moments throughout. The sets and scenery also look incredible, especially in the flashbacks. The film is about 3.5 hours long with an intermission, and sometimes the pacing can be a little slow, but it's definitely worth sitting through. While the first film had more memorable quotes, the sequel is known for the line, "Keep your friends close and your enemies closer." Fantastic performances by the cast, including Al Pacino reprising his role as Michael Corleone, Vito's youngest son who is now the Don of the Corleone crime family, Robert Duvall as Tom Hagen, the consigliere and lawyer for the Corleones who's considered to be an adopted member of the family, Diane Keaton as Kay, Michael's wife who becomes worried for her and their children after the assassination attempt on Michael, Robert De Niro as young Vito Corleone, the Sicilian who comes to New York and starts to get involved in some shady dealings. John Cazale as Fredo Corleone, Michael's older brother and his underboss who wishes he had more power in the family. Talia Shire as Connie, the youngest sister of the Corleone family. Lee Strasberg as Hyman Roth, the Jewish mobster and Michael's current business partner. And Michael V. Gazzo as Frank Pentinelli, one of Vito's most trusted associates currently in a rift with Michael. The film was nominated for 11 Academy Awards and won 6. Best Original Dramatic Score, Best Art Direction, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Supporting Actor for De Niro, Best Director for Coppola, and of course, Best Picture. The film was entered into the National Film Registry of the Library of Congress in 1993. While I personally feel that the first film is a bit superior, The Godfather Part II is certainly a masterpiece in its own right. Alright, well that's the show. I'll be back with another episode of A-List Classics very soon. But until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. youtube.com/westside515. Like the show on Facebook, facebook.com/westtroupealist. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram @WesAList. Until next time, Troop out.